We're getting a lot of questions about can you get a real estate property for citizenship by investment that will actually, where you can pick the property and you don't have to go with some sort of particular design, and you can pick the property anywhere in the development and then just build your own house the way you want to. Now, obviously, when you say, the way you want to build it, most developers are going to have a specification. You can't build a small little house in an area where they're big homes. Obviously, that's going to hurt everybody else's appreciation. But there are two developments in St. Kitts where you can buy strictly land for citizenship by investment. Now, actually, these developments were approved years ago. They don't allow this anymore. In fact, I don't know of any of the other fast track programs in the Caribbean where they allow strictly, land, where you can get land with no obligation to build on it to qualify for citizenship. But there are two developments that you can do that particular thing, and then you can decide what type of square footage you want, how much you want to add to it. Now, one of the developments that's like that, you're not going to get in under $1 million US. So, in fact, both of these, if you're looking to get right at the $400,000 limit, you're not going to be able to do that. Now, pretty much almost about everything you can get in at that limit at 400,000 would be apartments. There is one development. You can't just choose your lot and build. They have certain styles that you have to pick from, so you can't literally take the property and build like you want it. This one that's 400,000 where you can get a house. But there is one development still left where you can buy a house, real nice views, and it's a standalone house, and you can buy it right at $400,000 limit. There's only one that I know of like that qualifies for citizenship. Okay, and most of the developments that qualify for citizenship are in nice areas with good views and stuff. This is what you want. I mean, they're not going to put it in a bad area. So, all of these are in good areas that they've got. All right, but both of these developments, like I mentioned to you, you can choose the lot that you want, or lots if you want to get a series of them, and you can get them at the $400,000 limit or higher, okay? But when you add the building on with it, like I said, one of them you're not going to be able to do it for under. In fact, if you get the lot itself, at one of the developments, it's going to be about $1 million. Now you can get a villa there, but the lots are real small, and you can't specify. It has to be a certain style to match the other ones. It's not like you can just go in and literally just design it the way you want to do it, okay? If you do that, you're looking at around probably around 2 or 3 million at one place. The other place you can do it for around, where you're just buying the lot and then you qualify for citizenship based on that, for around 400,000. And then when you actually do the structure, depending on the size of the structure, you're looking at probably, I would say, at least 600,000 to 700,000 US for total. That's everything. Okay. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You'll get new videos automatically. We got over 700 videos. This is where you pick up a lot of good tips. They'll come to you automatically. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. Number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay. So there's 2 developments you can pick from. One thing I want to tell you, though, is if you're going to get a house built, I'm going to tell you some things that you need to watch for. Otherwise, it could be a really big headache, okay? In fact, it's going to cost you actually more building a new house than it would be getting an existing structure. But some people want to design their own house. But with the prices they are right now, I'm telling you, square footage is cheaper per square foot on existing homes versus, building new ones. But that being said, some people do want to design their own structure on their own location that they pick. And we do still have a lot of people doing that. Now, let me tell you some things that you need to look for and to make sure that you do if you're going to do this. That is, number one, you need to get, obviously, a good builder that you're going to, and we can help you with that. We know the good builders around here. And then after you do that, you need to set up after you get a price on what the total is going to be, and then you're going to have to pay in installments during different parts of the building process. You need to have, this is real important, that before you move into the place, I would have 3 or 4 different times where you can go in and find out what the problems are. I'm talking about major issues where you can't open the windows all the way from the bottom to the top. Things like, or the floors level, just all kinds of things that you need to be looking for. Do they have screens that fit the windows? These are things that you get in, you start to get these mosquitoes eating you alive, and you go, damn, these screens don't even fit the windows. These are things you need to look for. And then what you do, you need to have a time period, and there's a penalty if they don't finish during that time period. Now, we have developers that on apartments, you don't really have to worry about that. I'm talking about you're selecting your lot, you're selecting your the house style that you want, everything. And then you got the builder, you got the architect together, and those two need to be good. That's the key thing. You want to have a good architect and a good building contractor. And then you're going to have more of a headache if you try to do it yourself and get subcontractors around here. I've seen people try that. It's fine if you want to do it, but you're going to have to hang around here a lot if you do that. And I wouldn't advise it, but that's up to you. It depends on how you value your time. I would get a good building contractor, good architect. Then if you want to get some price bids, maybe get 3 of those. But folks, don't just look at cheap. You get cheap, and you're going to have a lot of headaches. You want to get bids, but you want to look at once you get the property from the citizenship developments that qualify for citizenship, basically, just buying the land. Then when you go out, you want to get a quality builder. That's the key right there, okay? Because you don't want a lot of headaches and crap. So what the first thing you want to do is come up with a price, and then you have these installments. But the way to make sure everything's run smoothly is I would try to withhold around 5% if you can do that, until everything is totally finished. Now, I'm talking about when you're doing, like I said, the method where you're picking your own lot, you're bringing in a contractor that's from outside. It's not a developer doing a project. It's totally different for that. I'm talking about your own house that you're doing the way I mentioned. And then what you do is, before you move in the house, you make sure in the contract it states you've got a deadline. If they don't meet that deadline, there's a penalty. And you can negotiate a penalty based on what you and the building contractor come up with. It could be a 5% penalty, it could be a 10% penalty, whatever you want to negotiate. And that's on the total price of the house if they don't get it finished. And I think it's important that your definition of being finished is where you can actually, before you move in the place, to make sure everything is totally fixed. That's the definition of being finished. In other words, you can write in the contract, the windows you've got, and you and your wife, okay, have to be able to open the windows and close them, okay, before you move in the place. And you need to check the floors, like I said before. go and just check things that I've mentioned before, screens and things like this. And then what you need to do is have a time period. Like I said, it has to be finished by that deadline. And then after you move in, you're gonna have, you know, touch-ups and stuff like this. But what you don't want to be doing is moving in the place. And then the windows, you can't open and close them. See, most structures down here are hurricane proof, so they build with solid concrete. Folks, when you go in solid concrete and you start taking that and knocking it apart, it is hell on wheels. That stuff is concrete powder, gets all over the place. It gets in your carpet, everything. It's a mess. You don't want to be in the house and then them coming in and trying to do things after you move in. These are things that you want to get finished and have deadline dates on before you move in the place, okay? And you definitely don't want to be having concrete. These windows, if the windows are messed up, you can't just take windows out. You got to take the friggin' jackhammer and knock those windows out, and there's concrete dust everywhere. It's a mess. These are things you need to plan on and have penalties in the contract stating that, okay? They've got to have that thing finished. And you've got to be able to walk in and open those windows and make sure everything works before you buy it, okay? Now, don't assume it's just going to be a totally a closed-in type program where you can just walk in. You're going to have issues and stuff. That is another reason getting a house that's already been built. Somebody else is going through the headaches. And I mean, it doesn't mean you won't have headaches. I mean, you could walk into a house with all kinds of issues that someone never fixed or something's developed. But that's why you come in and check it out, before you buy. But I will tell you this, as a general whole, as long as you do your checking stuff, usually houses that are already built, usually it's less headaches, I can tell you, unless you go through the process I'm telling you right now, okay? And so they would have to have everything finished by a deadline date. And then what happens is, after you move in, obviously there's going to be nicks and crannies and things that need to be finished, but there should be a penalty part on that getting finished. In other words, the basic house getting finished, and then the little knickknacks and things like this, the doors don't close right, or all kinds of little things. Those need to be finished by a certain deadline date. And it's good if you can get a building contractor, if you can get him to do it, to where you can pay him the last part 3 months after. Of course, the only thing with citizenship, everything has to be paid off before. You'd have to have something special in the contract that says, because the government, whatever price you pay for that unit, that has to be paid for before you can get the passport and title and stuff. And so you're going to have to pay the rest of it. If you said you're going to pay $700,000 for the house, the government's going to have to see that's been paid for. Okay. Now you can have some sort of side in the actual contract. Say side. It can't be a separate contract. It's got to be in there. Then an extra amount or whatever has to be paid after all the nicks and crannies are out. Now, if you pay the builder up front and that stuff has not been finished, you take a chance on him showing up and finishing. And we deal with building contractors we don't have issues with. They come back, they don't want their reputation screwed up. They want to come back and make sure things are finished, okay? This is one thing I like about dealing with good building contractors. They're going to come back and they're going to finish. They're going to do everything to satisfy you. I'll give you a good example. I did business with Syntex Crossland in the U.S. I think they've changed names. I think somebody else has bought them. I think maybe, I don't know if it was Pulte that bought them out or what. But one thing I liked about Syntex when I had a house built, they actually came back over and over again, and then they want you to fill out like a summary stating, you were satisfied with this. If you weren't satisfied with it, and they would mark off, and they wanted to make sure when they left, you were 100% satisfied. And they were the #1 builders in the U.S. I don't know if they still are, but they were about 25 years ago. And they were very good at 25 and 30 years ago. The reason they were #1 is they made sure everybody was satisfied. That's the key right there. And that's the type of people we try to deal with too. And if you come down, you try to go outside that and you're trying to get the cheapest guy to build your house, you're going to have all kinds of headaches. And there are ways that you can do it and do it right with minimum headaches if you stick to what I'm telling you, is to have deadline dates. But you need to have some sort of, maybe a part of the contract that states this much for the property, but you'll pay this much extra in 3 months after you move in and everything's fixed. But everything has to be fixed by a deadline date, okay? Otherwise, these guys, once a lot of these contractors get paid, they kind of take their sloppy time about doing things, Now, like I said, again, with apartment complexes, it's totally different. It's just a totally different picture because, and the ones we deal with too here, we've never had problems with them, okay? But when you start going outside of that and picking your own, this is where you're going to have an issue. We'll try to recommend you to the good ones, but we can't guarantee you're going to have a perfect situation. But if you're wanting a citizenship by investment and you want it where in real estate and you want it to qualify where you pick the actual property where you want it, and one of these places is pretty secluded too, by the way, and you want to have it where you more or less just do your own design. You don't have somebody telling you can't do this, you can't do that. And obviously, it's going to have to, they don't want to dump. So they're going to have, but we do have one place that has no maintenance fees at all. And the regs are restricted very, very little. But if you want to get away from maintenance fees, because some people don't like paying those, this is a good choice to have. And the great thing about this option too is if you get the property, decide you don't want to build for 3 or 4 years, or let's say you don't ever want to build, you just decided you're just going to let the house, the lot itself, the land, just sit there. You got your passport, your citizenship, you can do that. One thing that's nice about that option is everything is capital growth. You don't have to worry about, someone coming in stealing or something, or maintenance and stuff like this inside the house, because it's a lot, it's nothing there, So some people like because of that, but that's up to you and what you're wanting and how you want to get that thing set up. But I think it's important that you get these deadline dates in the contract, and you will have to be more pickier than if you're going to go out here and just get an apartment that designed for citizenship. Now, I wanted to bring this fact out because I've had quite a few people asking, can you just buy land that qualifies for citizenship? And yes, you can do that. I'll be honest with you, most people don't do it that way. Most people go the option, like we've got a developer now, they pay the rent all up front for 5 years, right at closing that you would have gotten paid, and that money is paid to you right up front. They collect the rent. If it goes empty for a while And that's on their dime, okay? Because they paid you up front for yours. You can take that and put it in Bitcoin while Bitcoin's down low. If you want to do that, that's an option you can do, okay? Or whatever cryptocurrency you want to go in. So you can, and they manage everything. There's no maintenance fees at all for 5 years on that unit. The only thing you pay for is the property tax, which is almost nothing, because property taxes in St. Kitts is only 0.20% of what you're purchasing, with a $29,600 US exclusion. So your property taxes is going to be almost nothing on those units. So basically for 5 years you're paying nothing in, and then you're getting all that money up front for 5 years for the rent, and you invest it wherever you want to put it. They also pay for your legal fees, quite a bit of the fees that they would pay for, that if you went and got your own lot and built your house, you would not have that, okay? We like these programs too, that where a lot of these things are packaged, where we've actually negotiated this with the building contractors. This is not something that, most people go in, they pay that out of their pocket. They just don't know. They don't know they can, that was negotiated totally different through someone else. And we've got a developer right now that pay the legal fees, the background check fees, the government fees. If you go to talk to most developers, they'll say you're crazy. There's no way they would pick up all that. I mean, we're talking about, I did an example of one. You'll either see that before this video or after the video, of an actual family of 4 for real estate option, citizenship by investment through St. Kitts and Nevis. And it's well over $100,000 in fees this developer's picking up. Most people, when you go and tell them to pay all these fees, they just sit there and laugh at you. I mean, these are your fees, not anybody else's. We've just worked this out. I had a real hard time doing it, but we worked out a deal with a certain developer for our clients where all these fees would be picked up. And we're talking about a lot of money in fees. So like I mentioned to you, on the family of 4, it's well over $100,000 US that they're picking up. Once you actually go in, you buy the property and close, they get that back to you, okay? If you want to learn more on this, again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Hit the top bar that says apply with us, fill out the questions, hit that bottom bar that says send it to us. We deal with over 100 citizenship by investment, residency by investment countries all over the world. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And number 3 is, remember folks, we've got over 700 videos. This is where you're really going to pick up a lot of good stuff. You hit that subscribe button, you'll get these automatically every single day, these videos. And again, our website's www.citizenshipquickly.com if you need some help. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.